January 6th. January 6th. Friday night. I'm driving back north to Peachtree Corners. I actually find this video situation quite therapeutic because it, serves as a public journal. Very rarely, probably say I don't think I ever truly get to speak freely. It's always within some sort of a box. So it's like with this, I pick the topic and I just go. I don't check the views or the comments or anything like that. I think eventually, maybe once this year is done, I'll go back, or if you want to text me, you could text me at 504-534-8758. If you want to text me, if you have any questions or anything like that. But this is me connecting with the world. This is me connecting with the world, man. I go through things like everybody else. And right now, man, this is a very isolated part of my life, like very, very isolated. So it's almost like this video situation is right on time. I don't know what it is, and I kind of don't care to figure it out, because I'm always going to be authentically me. But a lot of people, pretty much everybody, is leaving me on red. I text like everybody, and I get left on red. I wonder what that is. I wonder what it is. But it is what it is. It is what it is. Maybe it's my, people say my voice is monotone. It's gonna remain this way. You dig? I can't, I'm not changing. I'm living in my truth. I think when I talk to most people, I don't think I give out or speak on harsh truths. I know for a fact, people love the wonderland. They love the illusion. There are points in my life when I think that's needed. To be charming, to be chummy, to go for the joke. being left on red by everybody. You know, to speak on it now means it may potentially artificially change, which may be a mistake, because I'm one who goes for authentic and organic change. You know, I don't want to point out something that I'm displeased with and have someone, you know, fake change. I want to do what I can on my end, you know, to promote organic change. But this being left on red thing is, you know, it's like I say, it is what it is. And it almost closes the door to organic change. And I'm fine with that. But anyway, there's a few things that, you know, popped into my head before hitting the record button. One is water and hydration. You know, people think drinking water only equals hydration. Hydration is deep, man. You know, for example, you know, I currently drink water with a lot of trace minerals, lots and lots of natural trace minerals. You know, I'll add the liquid IV in there. I'll add this thing that's supposed to be a more natural liquid IV. Is called hydration or hydrate IV. I forget the name of it. Hydrate or hydration IV, but it's basically a ton of electrolytes in a powder form. You know, I mix. It's called Lithia Springs, I think it's called. Almost don't want to give that up because, you know, that's my thing. But Lithia Springs, I take that half Eternal. It's like this clear bottle. I think it's called Eternal. Half Lithia Springs, half Eternal, and like it's in the I think it's a 50-ounce bottle of water, and I dump one liquid IV, one hydration IV, and man, it's like the best thing ever. You know, there was this point where, you know, I was so into water, as crazy as that may sound to you, and to most people, but why would that sound crazy? You know, we're made up. It's like we're like 65% water or something like that. You know, we need it to survive. And this is the wild thing about health. You know, there are people who will be knowledgeable about, you know, guns or cars or sports or, you know, whatever, and won't know anything about their health when you have only one you. Like what you're in right now, the body that you're in right now, it's your vehicle. You're going to trust knowledge about your vehicle to someone like a doctor. I'm not saying that doctors are bad. I think the way they diagnose, people who are dealing with things is bar none one of the best things ever. And I will use that technology. If something's wrong and I can't figure it out, I'm definitely going to use their technology to find out what's wrong. And if I can heal it naturally, I'm going for it. But if I can't, I'm going to look for their help. But my thing is to blindly trust these people in an industry that's, obviously profit-based. You have to forgive me. I'm a little rusty, man. I haven't talked about these topics in such a long time. But it's, it's a huge part of GDP. If the medical industry falls, that is a huge pillar in America. A huge pillar that would be very detrimental for America's GDP, just America as a whole. And I see these medical institutions, man. They're some of them are bigger than resorts. But anyway, water, hydration. One thing that comes to mind is tap water. At one point I believed, and I still kind of believe, that water is a living being. Would you want to be treated how tap water is treated? If you think about how water flows through creeks and lakes and waterfalls and streams and things like that, and then you look at the high speed way that it travels through, the pipes and drains and all the chemicals that get poured into it and things like that, and the way it gets dismantled and reassembled so that it can be used again, treated, and this water is it's not structured. So shower with it. I shower with it. There was a while when I used a shower filter. I still recommend the shower filter, but I'm trying to do better, man. Trying to get into a better position. But I'll touch a little bit more on water later. I think letting you know what I drink is a gem. But there's people who know exactly what I drink and don't do that. So hey, Joe Rogan I'm a little late with this, but Joe Rogan was attacked by the media a while back, and I saw members of many groups who went along with that and bought into that narrative. But I'm one who listened to the Joe Rogan Experience podcast, man, since the first one. And, you know, I can name, you know, Duncan Trussell and Eddie Bravo and Joey Diaz and Brian Callen, and there was this guy named Tate, Brody Stevens, Tony Hinchcliffe, Brian Redband was the original tech guy. Like, I really truly listened to the Joe Rogan Experience. You know, there was a time in my life, man, when I was out here in Georgia and I wasn't going to, I don't know if I've shared this with anybody. I wasn't going to family functions and things like that. It was just uncomfortable for me because I wasn't at a point in my life where I wanted to be. You know, I was much in a much lower status than where I am now. You know, I'm far more confident today. But during that time, man, you know, it would be Thanksgiving and I'm just feeling this anguish. But the thing that kept me from feeling all the way alone was the Joe Rogan Experience. This was like 2009, 2010, you know, and Joe Rogan, man, you could listen to the podcast now and it's good, but it's not as good as it used to. You know, on some levels it's better, but on a lot of levels, man, you know, I remember a point where Joe Rogan said he would read the ad every time. He said he wanted to read the ad every time to keep it fresh and spontaneous. You know, today, you know, he's getting that money. And, you know, I knew it was long ways away from the inception when I started to hear, you know, the automated readings of the ads. But, you know, Joe Rogan saying the N-word, I like, I'm sorry about all this pausing. Michael Jai White, I love his take on the whole Joe Rogan debacle. You know, there are those who, and, you know, I don't know how close he is with Joe, but, man, those are, you know, in line with my thoughts, you know. And a word only has as much power as you give it. Racism, you know, it only has as much power as you give it. But yeah, man, I think, you know, with Joe Rogan, him, you know, because as I'm listening to him, it's like he's, you know, it's like how it's very similar to how I'm talking right now. There are a lot of cultures out there that I'm not aware of, and listening to him was almost like voyeur. You know, because I remember this time he was listening to Big Boy rap, Big Boy from Outkast, and he had no idea who Big Boy was. So I knew I was getting a glimpse into something. You know what I mean? A glimpse into another culture. But headed to the gym actually, man. I'm on autopilot and I pulled into the house. Man, I'm running long with this video, huh? But you know what you could is wild. You know, you could have a racist person who would never say the N-word. You could have a racist culture that never says the N-word. That's far more damaging than anything Joe Rogan has done. But you demonize him when it's so much out there that needs to be viewed. So much out there that needs to be viewed. But the media tells you that somebody's racist and you just blindly go along with that. That's what gets me, man. You know, I'm sure you can hear the passion in my voice right there. But that's it, man. On that, you know, I kind of wish I would have had a voice during that time, and maybe some type of editor. But how do you go back? How do you speak with people who don't want to change their mind, who only want to see it from one perspective? You know, how do you do that? That's my question to you. And you know, I wanted to speak a little bit on chess too, but man, I think this video is probably 20 minutes right now. But thank you for listening. January 6th.